All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Chris Wynn in studio as well. We're going to be taking your phone calls on this issue. Donald Trump inviting the Taliban to Camp David. Thank God that's not going to happen. Your thoughts on that, give us a buzz, 257-5396. The GCI Guys hotline, 702-257-5396. Oh, and by the way, the former governor of South Carolina, Mark Sanford, he is putting his name in the hat to run for president of the United States. So what does Donald Trump decide to do? He goes after him. And this is what Donald Trump said just a short time ago, several hours ago. He says, when the former governor of the great state of South Carolina, Mark Sanford, was reported missing, only to then say he was away hiking on the Appalachian Trail, then was found in Argentina with his flaming dancer friend, it sounded like his political career was over. It was. Last I checked, Donald Trump isn't the best as far as, not cheating.
Extramarital affairs.
So Michael Avenatti, our friend Michael Avenatti of the show, responded by saying, this is rich. The creepy porn president had sex with multiple porn stars without a condom while his wife and 4-month-old baby are at home, repeatedly lies about it to his wife and others, then commits federal crimes related to it to steal an election and now wants to call Sanford out. Michael Avenatti is 100% right. Before we take your calls at 257-5396, Chris, I want to give you an opportunity to respond. What do you make of this story about Donald Trump inviting the Taliban, reportedly, to Camp David?
I think it was reprehensible. I think it was appalling. I think you can inject any adjective you want to when describing the possibility that this could take place on a number of levels and for a number of reasons. The main one being that it is the week of the anniversary of 9/11. And why did we go to war in Afghanistan back after 9/11? It was because that the Taliban was harboring terrorists, a.k.a. Al-Qaeda, a.k.a. individuals that were believed and that were involved in 9/11. And that's the entire reason we went to war there, and that's why there's been a continuous 18-year-plus war in that country. And we have a very complicated situation when you bring into play the United States, the Afghan government there now, and, of course, the Taliban. But you do not invite anybody from the Taliban, leadership whatsoever, onto American soil, and particularly at a place like Camp David, to start any type of communications or talks.
I agree.
It's just absolutely beyond the pale, and
it's outrageous.
There's been a number of people, and it doesn't even matter what your political affiliation is. There have been people across the board that have absolutely denounced this, and they are 100% right for doing so.
All right, I agree with you there. John Bolton being one of them,
right.
Allegedly the vice president, also
people in his own administration.
Let's take some calls on this at 257-5396. Sherry, thank you for waiting patiently on hold. What do you think about this?
Okay, first of all, in the beginning, I was not a Trump supporter. I pretty much just didn't want Hillary to be the first example of what a woman would be as president.
Right.
But since then, I have been impressed with his negotiating skills and his business sense and all that. I know he's not a good speaker and doesn't really come across well publicly, but I don't know. I just think that I always give him the benefit of the doubt. He knows more, obviously, of what's going on in the country than we do, and I'm thinking maybe he's inviting him there because it's the safest place to bring a terrorist group and the most intimidating.
So let me ask you this, Sherry. Well, that's an interesting opinion, but let me ask you this. What has he accomplished with Kim Jong-un? He's met Kim Jong-un on several occasions. We know about the missile tests. If he's such a fantastic negotiator, what has he accomplished to this point with Kim Jong-un?
Well, more than anybody else has.
What? I'm asking you, what has he accomplished?
Who has met with him? Who has crossed that line?
So meeting with somebody is accomplishing something?
It's a start.
But what if it doesn't do any good? It hasn't.
What if it does?
But it hasn't.
I have a much broader question for you. What you said that he's done things that have been good when it comes to negotiate. What negotiating skills has he put on display, and what has he shown you positively that has been a benefit to the United States and that has been good so far with respect to his negotiating platform and the way he's done it? What specific item? The economy was a deal that was done back in December of 2017, and it was Republicans.
With people that are anti-Trump, I'm just pro-American. So,
well, that doesn't mean I'm not pro-American. Also,
wait, hold on a second. Let me interject. You
said
hold on.
She
Chris,
said negotiating was brought up because
hang on,
of
Chris.
the
Calm down for a
economy.
second. Calm down. Sherry, I do not like Donald Trump. I think he's a horrible human being. Does that mean I'm not? Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Does that mean I'm not pro-America?
I didn't care for Obama, but never would I put him down because I respect the office of his presidency, which I think is sorely lacking in America right now.
So
we have absolutely no respect for the office of the president.
Do you think the president has respect for the office? Does the president have respect for the office?
Oh, gosh. Okay, you guys have fun. Have a nice
So you're not going to answer that question, and then you're going to hang up
She
the phone
bails
like
out.
a coward.
It's a cop-out. She's copping
Goodbye,
out.
Sherry.
She's bailing
Goodbye,
out
Sherry.
because she does. You can't defend it. She can't defend.
So we don't respect. We're not pro-America. We don't respect the presidency. But then when I ask Sherry the question, does the president respect the office? She goes, okay, guys, have a good day. Okay.
What does Donald Trump's negotiating skills have to do with the December 2017 economy plan that he put out? That deal, the tax break that went to the upper crust of Americans. What does the negotiating skills have to do with that plan coming about?
Well, besides that, Chris,
it's not besides that. She pointed out that's the one thing she tried to point out.
I disagree with her, but besides that, I take offense when she says you're not pro-America
what do you
just
think I
because
did?
you criticize the president.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous statement. 257-5396. Let's go to Bruce. Bruce, what's going on?
What's up, Bruce?
Bruce, are you there, my friend?
Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Good, Bruce. What's on your mind, man?
Well, I just got a couple of quick comments. I believe I think there's some wisdom in the statement when people say, that you should keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I think it may have been a good idea to have some sort of meeting with these guys. I don't agree that it should start with the president, and I don't agree with maybe the location and the timing. But I do think that if you communicate with someone, even if they're your enemy, and you try to work out something that could be better for everyone, that's a good idea.
Bruce,
but
I think that's fair.
I'd like to make just one more comment, and that is the government has been doing like a bunch of mistakes and cover-ups for a really long time. Just real quick, I was involved with the failed rescue attempt of the hostages in Iran way back when.
Oh, boy.
And to make a long story short, I wasn't involved with the actual attempt to rescue them, but I was attached to a heavy mechanized Marine squadron, and we tried to go rescue the guys that went down. And the crazy part, Brian, is the main meteorologist for the Air Force told the chiefs of staff that there was about a 70% chance there's going to be some really bad sandstorms occurring.
Right.
And if you know anything about avionics, a jet engine takes in a gigantic amount of cubic feet of air per second to burn the fuel and make the airplane fly. And as soon as our helicopters ran into the same thing that downed the guys trying to rescue them, we went down. And if you look up on Google, you could not find my name. You couldn't find the correct amount of people that died that went down in these helicopters.
Well, Bruce, let me say this.
52 hostages was all
That's
bullshit.
awful.
It's all straight bullshit.
Bruce, first of all, let me say this. Thank you so much for your service to start. You're a hero, and we appreciate what you've done for this country, number one. Number two, I don't necessarily disagree with what you said earlier when you said that, maybe not the president, maybe not the location, but let's have other people reach out to maybe start a conversation. I have no problem with that at all. That makes complete sense to me, as it should with anybody, Bruce. But to just go to the extreme and invite this horrible, horrible group of people in the Taliban, these terrorists, to Camp David. Not only that, but the same week as the 9/11 anniversary, I just don't think Donald Trump thinks clearly. That's all I'm saying, Bruce, if that makes sense.
No, he's just saying our president's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you for the call, by the way, Bruce. I appreciate it.
Nothing big.
Yeah.
We're not saying don't sit down and talk to him.
Normal.
It's just about where you sit down and talk to him. Yeah. You can go sit down and talk to him in Seoul, South Korea, or some other country, or Amsterdam.
I don't have a problem.
But you don't need to sit down on American soil, though.
I don't have a problem with it taking place on American soil, just not in that particular location.
I just absolutely disagree with that. I think it's on the week of 9/11.
Secret location.
257-5396. Again, if you want to be a part of this conversation, the GCI Guys hotline, 702-257-5396. By the way, the president has made it importance to him with everything going in the world to go after John Legend. Yeah, that's right. The president going after John Legend and his wife. Trump felt he and Republicans were not given due credit for bipartisan prison reform measure that passed last year. He said, quote, This is just yesterday. Guys like boring musician John Legend. First of all, John Legend is not a boring musician. John Legend has more talent in his pinky that Donald Trump has in his body and every other family member in his lifetime. So this is what Donald Trump said. Guys like boring musician John Legend and his filthy-mouthed wife are talking now about how great it is. But I didn't see them around when we needed help getting it passed. Of course, talking about the bill, this prison reform bill. Trump wrote as part of a 4-tweet complaint. He blasted also NBC's Lester Holt. The Washington Post notes that Holt's special included footage of Trump signing the bill into law. I guess the president missed that one. So John Legend responded in the best way possible on social media. He said, imagine being president of a whole country and spending your Sunday night hate-watching MSNBC, hoping anybody will praise you. He also responded by saying, Melania, please praise this man. He needs you. 257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Ron. Ron, what's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. I hear so much talk about the Taliban and ISIS, and let's get a little history here, a little Arabic, understanding what Arabic means. You know what the word Taliban means?
What does it mean, Ron? You tell us.
Now, I've heard you guys speaking all morning, Taliban. The word Taliban means students of Islam.
Okay, well, he wasn't inviting students of Islam.
No, that's the first question. Now, you didn't know the answer.
He wasn't inviting students of Islam. It's completely academic to what we're talking about. It's academic to.
Question I need to ask
Are you? Hold on a second.
Ron, you just pointed out something that doesn't have any relevance, Ron.
So what?
Ron, we all know. We all have a perception. Okay, Ron.
What is your education on that point, which doesn't mean nothing?
Ron, you bring up a ridiculous point, and now you're trying to ramble on about how the Taliban. We all understand.
What does the word ISIS mean? Do you have any idea?
Ron, are you capable of having a conversation?
Sir,
Yes.
this is Arabic.
Are you capable? Are you capable?
Conversation.
No, you're not. You're just talking. No,
You're
you're
ranting
not.
and raving.
Are you capable of?
You're trying to bulldoze us.
ISIS means the base.
That sure does. I bet it does. No doubt.
Ron, why don't you move where they live?
Read the history.
Ron,
Okay.
why don't you? Ron,
Ron,
you're a Taliban. Ron, why don't you go back to where the Taliban are? You're a Taliban. Ron, you're a member of the Taliban.
History of jihad.
You're a member of Al Qaeda, Ron. Bye-bye, Ron. Bye-bye, Ron. I don't think Ron took his meds today.
He's trying to get just us. He's trying to bait us. Is what he was trying to do there. No question.
First of all, just to be clear, Donald Trump was not inviting people of Islam to Camp David. Make no mistake about it. Even Trump would admit it. He was inviting members of the terrorist organization. Now, why would he just invite nice people, members of Islam? He wasn't inviting nice Muslims. That's not what he was doing. He was inviting some of the people that are in charge of domestic terrorism.
Brian, you are way overthinking this right now, okay? This is just about him trying to dump a bunch of definitions on us and try to get us caught up in the weeds. Look, we all have a perception of what the Taliban is, Ron, the caller, okay? The perception for Americans is that they are the group of people, they are the people that, are involved with what happened on 9/11.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about definitions and people of Islam and all that.
Honestly, Brian, the Taliban is not a terrorist organization. Al Qaeda is. It's a political movement.
Yes,
and it's a Sunni political movement.
Yeah. Well, as I said before, and I'll say it again. Donald Trump was not inviting nice Muslim people. He was inviting members of a terrorist organization.
He was inviting people who have influence in the country that we've been waging war with for almost 20 years.
Influence of people that murder innocent
Americans have died, and a lot of Taliban have died recently as well.
I got to take a quick break. We'll continue this conversation, and John Schaefer is going to be coming up here with the news here in just a few minutes. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.